Okay, so the way you do it is you start a new project, and first you need to get the 3D object. And you can browse through library. You can use your own 3D object. You can from that you create. We have something called Eon 3D objects. You can take a picture of something, and that will generate a full 3D model, including the parts. If you are a large corporation, you may have a CAD model. You can also scan. But for today's example, I'm going to just pick something from the library. Okay. So you can see here, I'm looking at the library. I can zoom in this environment. I can go full screen. That's what I'm doing here. So now I have a full experience of this particular object. So now we have an object. We need to have an environment. So I can pick different environments. I can pick this environment or this environment or this environment. But in this case, let's say I pick this environment here. So what happens then is that my model gets the environment. So now I'm in an oil and gas environment here. Right? I can look at it. I can go out. I can, if I want to transform something, I can position it, etc., in this particular oil and gas environment. And then we go to the next step. And what we're doing here is that here's where the magic starts. So there's a lot of magic and there's a lot of AI. So I have 36 years of experience in simulator. I sold my first company for $512 million back in the days. And we used to charge for what you're going to see today, millions of dollars. I think average, what you're going to see me creating here started at 1.5 million. And we had simulators that we sold up to much, much more. Okay. So here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click outside. You can see this model here. And what we are doing is labeling parts. So you see the model looks a bit funny. Is because each part is now recognized. So I can pick this, and the system auto-detects components name from mesh data and annotation. So some models have mesh data. A lot of them don't have it. So if they don't have it, AI is going in, for this example, this valve primitive that you see here, and identifies it. Okay. And once it does it, you can see here that I have lots of parts here. So I can click on pipes here, right? Or I can click on louver assembly, and it has recognized it. Now, this alone used to take us, for a complex object, this one has 72, can take a day maybe to get everything right, to confirm that everything looks okay. This is all automatic now. So pretty magical. Nobody does this today. If you look at other competitors, they don't provide this capability, but we have it. Okay. So now let's move to the next part. So now we have the labeling, we have the object, we have the environment. What's next? Let's click on next. So now we auto configure. Okay. So now the real magic. So what can each part do? So a valve, for example, can rotate, open and close. A fan can spin. A fan guard you can remove, you can hide. Pipes, so those are examples of intelligence interactions that we can inject in various components. And you can see here that it has defined them for each object, what to do. So this one is inspect, this one is open, this one. So each one has it. Now, if I see that the auto-detect has not done what I want, which can happen, but let's say 95%, it also gives you confidence. How confident is the AI that the valve can rotate? So I can browse through this and I can inspect. And if I don't like what I see, I can select something else, customs. So I can do different things here. If I want, right? You can see my overall confidence here is 84%. Okay, so that's the part of auto configuration. Again, this could take, just to program this, that could be a week's work for and we used to do this ourselves with something called Eon Professional. That's when we create all this, let's say, interactions. And if you look at what are the competition doing, so we have today, if you were to do this in, for example, Unity or Unreal, for each of these here, you had to code. So you actually have to code what each part will do, okay, if you want them to be activated. Now, in a video game, 99% are not activated. They are dumb textures. They can't do anything, right? Except, you shoot people and so on. So for the video game, coding is what people are doing. Now, if you want to be a little bit more advanced, if you look at companies like Pro Engineer has something called, help me out, Mats, View, I don't remember, but there are...
Windchill is the one?
No, Windchill. There's something else. Anyway, but it's kind of... Sorry, Matt?
SolidWorks?
No, SolidWorks is a CAD system. No, they have something else that it's kind of an engineering tool to do things. Then you have to create cards.
Okay.
So here for fan sealing, there will be a card. I right click and that card will be, I have to insert manually what it does, similar to what I did here. Again, that may be, if you code, that takes a long time. If you use the cards, that takes, let's say, it can take weeks, a month, right, to code. If you go to a card, it reduces maybe half, but still, you talk a long time, okay? So now we auto-configured. What do we do next? So you notice that this is done for someone that doesn't know how to program. So now we need to define the procedure. We have 3 modalities. So we know the objects, we know the environment, we know the label. So the AI knows what each part is, what they called. We know also what each part can do, rotate, etc. But now we need to put the procedure. So what should the trainee learn to do? So choose how to create your procedure. So I have 3 options. One is to do AI generated from context text, describe the object and the goal, and AI will create an application. So if, for example, this was a ventilator or a CNC machine, it will go on the internet and see what can you do with a CNC, and will find recipes and generate that on the fly. Second, you can pick a recipe or a template. So in this case, we have a recipe. We can click here, find. So I have a recipe for that. I can load that recipe, and immediately that recipe wrote. So verify work permit, so and so and so, phase 2. So this is a recipe. Now, if I click on this and generate procedure, it's going to also generate a procedure based on that. So here I had preloaded it. That's why it went so fast. But it will take a minute. Now, in most cases with industries, and in fact, they may have a document, okay? So now in that case, I'm going to go to this document, and let's see if I can find something here that is, I'll use this one, SOP fine is isolation, right? And I apply it. So now you can see here, it preloaded this. It's 41 steps from the document. You can see the document standard operation procedure. I can go in and look at this document, and it says view JSON file. There's 41 step. There's the 2-step category. It's about 57 minutes, and you can see I can confirm this. You can see here phase 1, pre-work authorization, phase 2, electrical isolation, phase 3, process isolation. The red one means that's critical. Phase 4, thermal cool down. Phase 5, mechanical lockdown. Phase 6, inspection maintenance. Phase 7 is re-energizing. So this is this is not a demo model, right? This is a very complex model. Aramco gave this to people. There were 12 competitors or so. And I would say 80–90% gave up because they couldn't do it. And 1 or 2 tried, but they didn't submit it because they felt it's too complicated. So this is a way to, while our system ingested and did it with the Genesis 3 now is doing automatically. Okay? So now going back to this, so we have now the object, we have the environment, we have the labels, we have to configure, and we have the procedure. Okay? So now we confirm that this is the right one. And now, boom, what's happening? This is the real magic. So what's happening here is it's initializing a draft. This is AI, right? AI doesn't act as we do. It acts very fast. So it automatically looks on the left hand, which is the procedure, the SOP, and on the right hand, which is what we need to apply this in the current model. So this is no human input needed. The AI reads the procedure from step 5, looks at the labeled meshes from step 3, checks the interactions from step 4, and assembles it in complete training procedure. Okay? You could see in the beginning it was going through blah, 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 each step. Okay? So you can see here, verify the permit. Some of these are not visual, like verify permit. It decides what it should represent visually or what it should do just with voice. Okay? And you can see there's quite a lot of procedures here. Okay, let's go to next. So now we have to have a human review, right? In the end, the human always is in the loop. And that's a big requirement from Exxon, Baker Hughes, and others. And likewise, if you're in medical or you're in aerospace, did the AI agent get it right? And if it didn't get it right, I can talk with it to fix it. These are two enormous inventions. We have 6 patents for this. So far, in fact, what we've gone through has several patents because nobody else has done this before. So then I can give it commands to do it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see if it's actually doing the right thing. And I just realized that we may not hear it. So let me stop and turn on the entire screen and also audio so you can hear what's going to say. Click on this and share. Okay. Very good. So let's go back to my little demo. Yeah. So now you can see here there's multiple steps, but I can turn demo mode on. And what demo mode will do is that it will only highlight, because it will take us an hour to go to everything. So we're going to demo just a few aspects of this, right? But it's going to take us a couple of minutes to do it. And you can see here I can start. And what's happening when I click on start is going to go through every step here that it has configured and identified the components. And then when I look at it, if I don't like something, I can talk with it to fix it. Okay, let's go.
Verify work permit, verify equipment tag, don PPE, notify control room, press stop on local panel. Walk to motor control center, open MCC breaker. Apply Lodo padlock to breaker. Attach danger tag. Verify 0 voltage at motor terminal box. Re-verify voltmeter on known live source. Close inlet block valve.
And I can manipulate here while it's doing it. So
apply Lodo padlock to inlet valve.
So I'm in real time. This is not an animation.
Close outlet block valve. Apply Lodo padlock to outlet valve. Open bleed relief valve. Verify pressure gauge reads 0.
Okay, so this
Drain
will go
residual
on for a while.
fluid.
I'm not going to necessarily do all the steps. I will leave it for another 2 minutes, and then we're going to proceed.
Wait for cool down.
It also, you saw, it selected sounds. It creates these labels. I didn't program.
Verify tube bundle temperature. Tryout test, attempt start. Wait for fan blades to stop. Verify fans stopped.
I must say, I learned very much about this system just by doing
Remove
this.
fan guard.
It's very cool.
Inspect fan blades. Inspect louvers. Inspect tube bundle. Lubricate motor bearings. Tighten electrical connections. Reinstall fan guard.
Okay, so I think you got it.
Close drain valve. Close bleed release.
Yeah, so now we have that. So let's say during this process, I saw something that I didn't like, right? Let's say I want to just do one thing here. I want to highlight the outlet valve in yellow. Okay, so I can send a command. So now it will apply that. So no programming required. Boom, it's yellow now. Or let's say I want to turn the fan blades off, right? Turn the fan blades. Just a second, fan blades off. So now it's gonna send a signal. So this is basically what the AI does internally, but now I do it manually. Okay. So now let's turn them back on. Turn the fan blades on. And you can see it. It's a bit like chatting with ChatGPT, right? Think about it, it's like ChatGPT, but for extended reality. Okay, so let me do something juicy now. Let's say make smoke. So what I'll do here is that I will actually click on make smoke from the van bleed. Let's say we put smoke. I want some smoke. It has things like Newtonian physics. It has accidents that can happen. It's a lot you can do. Okay. So now we have done this. Let's say we like it. So now we go to the next step. The next step here. And it's choose the training modality. So when you do a simulator, you can first, the typical simulator, I used to sell those for $50 million. Whether it's an aircraft simulator, a nuclear power simulator, first you need to show me what to do, right? So I can watch and learn. The system demonstrates the procedure with a guide. And this guide, we're gonna have HeyGen. The next one is train. So now I have seen it. Now I need to get it guided, so I get hints, but I have to do it. So let's say if I don't remember the step, it's going to guide me, it's going to show me, etc. So I kind of build my memory towards it. I can probably have a cheat sheet here on each step, and I have to navigate. The next step is let me try it. Silent practice, no hints, but mistakes are traced without penalty. And the next step is evaluate me. That's the real test, right? So now, if you pass this test, you actually know how to do that procedure very, very well, okay? So these are the modalities, and typically you have as a default all 4 steps. So now we need to choose the device. Now what's the beauty of Genesis 3? It is universal. You can either use it on your desktop, you can use it on a mobile and tablet, and if you have that, I have 2 of those here. And if you have that, then you can actually use a chopstick, so you can actually move around into this 3D environment. You can also use what Mats and I used at the event. You can see these things here, and this I think will be lot of sales. I think Genesis is opening this door to what I think is the future, which is this. Let me just open it up so you see it. Glasses. Okay, so there's two cameras here, and these two cameras are connected with the cloud. It has my Genesis. So when I'm going to the procedure and I don't remember all the steps, it's going to tell me what to do. It's going to recognize the parts, guide me. There's a little mark on the floor. In the physical environment, we left the virtual, and tell me what to do, and also see if I done the thing correctly. Okay, so that's an option that you can choose here. And then VR headset, right? If you want to do this in a virtual reality, you don't have access to the facility, you can do that. Okay, so let's say we select desktop. So it also explains for each one what you get. So here I get full 3D interaction, keyboard shorts, large screen workflow. If I go for mobile, I get touch and chopstick. The chopstick allows me to grab things because there's a LiDAR. So 8 billion people can, 7 billion people that have a mobile phone can do that simulation, actually have that in their room in augmented reality or virtual reality. And the glasses, this year is a big explosion, guys. I don't know if you follow the news from Silicon Valley, but everybody's releasing the glasses. Apple is releasing glasses. Google is releasing glasses. Meta is releasing glasses. This is Meta, by the way, that we have now. And most people think that long before robots are coming, we become superhuman or human 2.0 by having this and having the intelligence. Where Genesis plays here is obviously very clear that we will bring that intelligence that we just created in the field, right? And think about how much money this can save in terms of productivity, how many lives it can save, for example, whether it's oil and gas or data centers, whatever, to avoid accidents, etc. And also to capture the process. So those are things that you can do. Next. So now I need to configure the guide. So there are two layers here, right? How I interact and how to be guided. So the default here is that I'm using HeyGen. HeyGen is an avatar that will guide me through this. And I can use, for example, a drone. So HeyGen is to the right, very much like Genesis 2 works, right? And then you have the drone that guides you. You can also select Mixamo, which is an avatar that walks around and shows you stuff. Or you can select virtual hands. So you'll see two hands popping up, and you're gonna do it. Now, when you have headsets, that makes sense because that's your own hands. But if you have it on a desktop, then you can use the hands very much like you do in a video game. And there's three modalities here also. There's what we call helicopter view. That's the one we saw. So you can see things from above. You have a bird's view, which is pretty close. And then you have walk nav. Then you have to walk around like you do in the real environment. So now, once you've done that, what's happening? You go to play mode. And when you go to play mode, the outcome of what you've done will be is this score. So you can see if you have the passing score or you don't have the passing score, you can see so this is just the preview sample data, so you can understand how this works. You have a gamification element per training, badges. You have a leaderboard. You have an oral assessment, so you can add that. So let's say you passed, but you did things, and we want to understand, did you do that by chance, or did you actually, or do you really understand what's behind it, right? So that gives you a deeper, and then you have the instructor dashboard. So this is what the instructor will see. Obviously, we can customize those dashboards based on, with respect to tracking, which steps you want to do, how many attempts you allow, etc., etc. So all this is dynamic, right? It's not a static environment. Okay, so now we have it all together. So now we have completed. We decided which formats we should have. We have a training summary. We can keep it private only for me, for team, for organization-wide, for public publishing. We can have different team. I can define team alpha. I have version control here also if I want. You have all the steps to let's say we activate all those 4 steps. We can turn on VR headset. We may not need that, but we need the other ones. Enable or disable scoring. So all these things I can affect, right? Enable oral exam. Okay, pretty good. And now, voila, publish. So now, boom, this popped up here in my training gallery, and I can start publishing this. It will take a little while to get it, and then I can do play.